Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Nick Shepherd. This is number 3 in a set of 3 videos about conditional clauses. This video is about impossible conditionals. If I had waited, for example, or this one. If the cyclist hadn't... But he did. But the good thing was that Jake met Antonia as a result. I hope you enjoyed the story. We're looking at Jake's adventures this morning. And here's a picture of Jake when he was crossing the road. There he is. He was crossing the road on the zebra crossing when a cyclist came whizzing along a bit too fast. And I'll just write above here, the cyclist hit Jake on the zebra crossing. I'll just write on the crossing. The cyclist hit Jake on the crossing. Now that wasn't inevitable, and if the cyclist, I'll write down here, if the cyclist had slowed down, it wouldn't have happened. If the cyclist had slowed down, he wouldn't have hit Jake. And that's the form of the third type conditional, if followed by had slowed, a past perfect, then in the other half of the sentence, wouldn't have hit, wouldn't have done, etc. Right, let's move on. And he gets into an ambulance and there's the siren. And he arrives in hospital, and there he is in his hospital bed being looked after by the nurse. And I'll just write at the top here, Jake met Antonia in hospital. And again we can write an impossible condition if he hadn't gone. So I'll just write underneath here, if Jake hadn't gone to hospital, if Jake hadn't gone to hospital, he wouldn't have met Antonia. So again, as before, we've got if followed by hadn't gone, past perfect, and in the other half of the sentence, wouldn't have met. Now the last thing, we've just got our friend Polly, and Polly is saying, I would have if I could have. Notice the contractions, I would have if I could have. But she didn't because she couldn't. And here's a little chart just to explain it in a rather different sort of way. So we've got would have in the main clause, I'd have spoken or I would have spoken, and if plus a past perfect in the if clause, if I'd seen her, if I had seen her. And remember that you can put the two clauses in either order, doesn't matter which one you put first. And now it's your turn. Here are 5 sentences with 2 spaces in each sentence. There are 4 options: had, hadn't, would have, and wouldn't have. You have 10 seconds to think about it, and you can stop the video if you want to. Okay, here are the answers. 1. She would have seen her boyfriend at the cafe if she had waited for him, but she didn't. 2. If the taxi hadn't got caught in traffic, I wouldn't have missed my train, but I did. 3. If you had listened to me, you wouldn't have married her, but you did. 4. You would have passed the exam if you had studied more, but you didn't. 5. If he had seen the film, he would have remembered it, but he didn't. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to say, Jake and Antonia got married. If the cyclist hadn't knocked Jake over, and if the ambulance hadn't taken him to that hospital, and if Antonia hadn't been on duty that day, they wouldn't have met, and they wouldn't have got married. So, bad start, happy ending. There are 2 other videos in this set about first and second type conditionals. And don't forget to write to me if you feel like it. All comments and suggestions are welcome. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.